I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Peabody City Council Finance Committee. Present for the committee this evening are Councilors Gamache and Gould. Sitting in this evening for Councilor Manning Martin is Councilor Rossignol. Sitting in for Councilor Turco this evening is Councilor Melville. Also present this evening, Councilor Peach, welcome back, Councilor. Councilor Daigle and Councilor Higgins. We have 3 items on the agenda tonight. First item, bond order, Peabody Veterans Memorial High School feasibility in an amount of $8 million. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, councilors. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm very happy to be with you. I know many of you or all of you are familiar with our first item on the agenda today. This is a big moment in our work towards a brand new Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. There has been a great deal of work that has taken place over the last couple of years that has brought us to this point, but this is a very important vote in order to move forward with this much needed project. I think all of you are very familiar with the state of our high school, the building, and the need for a new school or major renovation. It is outdated. It is not meeting the needs of our students, major deficiencies in that building, and certainly not energy efficient. And there's a great deal of work that would need to be done to update equipment, technology, and just the overall look and feel and atmosphere of a new Peabody Veterans Memorial High School that I think would be so important for our students, our faculty, our staff, everybody. That building is always a flagship of any city and town, and that building is just not where we need it to be. So after a number of years of applying to the MSBA, the Mass School Building Authority, in order to move forward with a new building or a major renovation, we were approved last year, actually the latter part of 2023, in order to move forward with our efforts. We were invited into the core program. Just as a reminder, there are 2 different types of partnerships to go with the MSBA. One is the core program, which is for a new school or major renovation. The second is for such projects as new boilers, new roofs, new windows. That's accelerated repair. So we were invited into the core program. We've had a very experienced team over the last number of years. Thankfully, doing work at our new Higgins Middle School, which is about 7 or 8 years old now, and just completed a great project over at the Welch School, which to me is a brand new elementary school. So we have an experienced team of hardworking people committed to the next project in our city, which is the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. I wanted to provide, with your approval, Mr. Chairman, and some of you may have already seen this, but this is the schedule of deliverables for where we are at this point in this project. We are right now at the tail end of the eligibility period, the eligibility phase of our work for this new Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, and we're getting ready to move forward into the next phase, which would be the feasibility. With your approval, Mr. Chairman, and your permission, I'd like to provide this handout to everybody, and I can kind of quickly run through each of these items to make sure everybody's caught up to date.
Councilor, the motion received. We're going to refer to this as late 2. All in favor? Any opposed? Is a vote. While we're at it, we have late 1 pertaining to this matter. Can I get a motion received?
Motion received. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion from Councilor Rossignol. All in favor? Any opposed? Is a vote.
So just as a summary of this document, I know some of you have seen this document, but we have we were invited in a MSB vote at the end of December 2023 into the eligibility period, and the eligibility period commenced on August 1st, 2025, and over the next, August 1st, 2024, and over the next 270 days, which is set to expire at the end of this month, this April, there were a number of tasks that we needed to perform and meet in order to get introduced into the next phase again, which is called the feasibility stage of this project. A number of these were just acceptance of paperwork and rules and regulations and procedures that would be followed that are required of the MSBA, but a couple of key things here that I did want to mention is first the school building committee The school building committee was formed. Beverly Griffin Dunn, who chaired our committees for the Higgins Middle School and for the Welch Elementary School, is our chair again for this project. Her experience, background, and passion have been wonderful for the city in the past, and I think going forward, it's going to be excellent again. A committee was formed, and it's an excellent mix of city and school department heads and professionals, elected officials, educators, parents, and construction experts. A project of this magnitude is going to require a great deal of expertise and talents from so many people across the city, and this is just the beginning. Right now we have our school building committee. We do have Dr. Herb Levine here, who's a member of that committee. With his background, I think will be very important for us as we move forward. I also want to mention school committee member Jared Hockman, who is here as well and been a big supporter of this project. And then moving forward, again, a number of people are going to be lending their talents to this. Right now, this is the school building committee. Thankfully, there's a number of city officials on. We have from the council, Councilor Gould, Councilor Daigle, Councilor Peach, and Councilor Gamache, and each are going to add a great deal to it. However, there's going to be a lot more committees coming up, and I've spoke to a number of city councilors, school committee members, a number of committees regarding, let's say, Chapter 70 vocational, Chapter 74 vocational rather, and also technology, a number of other things that I'm going to be asking a number of you to serve on these different subcommittees, each playing an essential role. So I'm sure we'll be discussing that and looking at that very much in the future as well. So that was submitted, that committee's been put together. We have already had 3 meetings and a public meeting. A lot of this is preliminary, just making sure our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted, and that we're following our procedures. There was a number of, great deal of information that Dr. Vidala and his team had to provide for the educational profile, the Chapter 74 vocational technical educational documentation, enrollment projections, and a great deal of that information was submitted on time. Dr. Vidala and I have been working with our school officials, and I'm very glad to have our high school principal here, Ms. Brooke Randall, who's been terrific through this project and is going to be a major leader as we move forward with this project, lending all her knowledge of the building, what the needs are of our school, the educators, and all of that. So very glad to have Ms. Randall here. And then we also submitted, Jim Politano and his team submitted a maintenance and capital planning information to the MSBA for that step, which has brought us to this step here tonight. And I glossed over those, certainly would be happy to give more detail on each of those steps. But the big one is what we're here for tonight. The last 2 listed is the local vote authorization and the feasibility study agreement. I'm here tonight to ask for some initial funding in order to move forward with the next steps required to enter into the feasibility stage of this project. If we do not meet these, all the different examples here, all the different requirements, the deliverables that are listed in this document, then we would be asked to withdraw from the MSBA process, and they would move forward with other projects. So this is a critical vote for us in order to meet this time frame, in order to take the next step and be invited into the feasibility stage. The local vote authorization is just as it sounds. It's the vote required as city leaders from our city council in order to appropriate the money necessary for the next step. We've asked for $8 million today. That is a number that we, just from reaching out to other communities, talking to the MSBA, asking for opinions, getting information, we felt this was the appropriate number to ask for at this stage. That will help us again as we enter into the feasibility portion of this, hiring an owner's project manager, hiring an architect design team to assist us with this project, and that's when things really start to get interesting and we really start to make progress. There are 3 major critical stages that are going to be coming up in the near future over the next year or 2, would be the hiring of 3 key parts of this project. The first is the owner's project manager. That's our representative that will be looking over the project for us, making sure that all of our time frames, all of our needs are being met. That is play a key role in this. Second would be the architect design team that obviously works on the design of the building and starts delving into the property, the site, where the building is going to go, what's necessary, what's needed, and the look of it. And then the third is the actual construction team themselves that will come in to do the work. There's gaps in between all of those stages, but this $8 million will get us going, get the ball rolling, and allow us to move forward. From the school building committee, we'll be putting together smaller groups to do the interviews for each of those stages, each of those key contributors to this project. And we'll be putting together a team overseen by Dan Doucette, our purchasing agent. His experience has been tremendous during this project. He'll be overseeing that process. We'll be putting groups together, and we've had great success over the years for both the Higgins Middle School, the Welch School, and now most recently with our public safety building, getting high-quality companies that have shown interest in our city. And I expect, from what I've been learning and companies reaching out to me, that there's going to be a great deal of interest in this project. I think a number of companies have been eyeing this project for a long time, and I expect that there's going to be a great deal of interest, which is just terrific for all of us as we move forward. Happy to answer any questions, as I said, in more detail, but this is the next step. And again, we'll start looking into the location of the building, the future of the field house, the future of the auditorium, vocational and technical programs, which I think are going to be a key factor as we move forward in terms of bringing some programs back, adding to the great programs we already have at Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. I've spoken of this many times, and I know all of you agree, the building is subpar, but thankfully we have outstanding talent, educators, staff, making sure things are operating there, and students are getting a terrific education. And I think if we can provide that school over the next 4, 5, 6 years, that's just going to elevate everybody and elevate everything that's happening in that building. And that's just exciting to think about. So this is a big moment for us, a big vote. There'll be other meetings where we come to you, and going to work with the Council President Daigle and Council Presidents to come to make sure we have updates to the City Council as we hit key milestones and start getting into the design. And certainly all of you are going to be involved in some degree in making sure that this is going to meet the needs of our city and our families and students moving forward. So, Mr. President, this is someone certainly I can talk about in great detail. Happy to answer any questions, but looking for the local vote authorization today to submit to this MSBA. April 28th is the date that it's due. I didn't want to wait till April 24th to the next meeting. I wanted to move forward today and get this vote taken and moved forward to the next step. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Questions from the committee? Questions from other councilors? Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. Mr. Mayor, I think you hit the nail on the head, except for one comment. You said subpar. I actually think that that's giving the building too much credit. To be honest with you, this is well needed, and I look forward to making this vote. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Rossignol. Councilor Welton.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair McGinn, for letting me speak. I'm not on the Finance Committee, so appreciate it. Super excited about this. I was excited when our 14-year-olds were potentially going to have a new high school, and that might not time out well, but, you know, we've had 4 kids since, so I think, you know, one of them will go there. So we're super excited about that. I wasn't sure if you could, of course, there's still a lot of work left to be done, but could you ballpark idea for anyone who's home listening, like when we might be able to expect, if everything goes well, when a new high school may be begin construction?
Thank you, Mr. Welton. It's always a little dangerous. I think we're on a 4 to 5 year period. The MSBA is very specific as to the different phases, the time frames that we need to meet. It's very structured in terms of next steps and all of that. So I think the way we're looking at it is 4 to 5 years, I would think, but I don't want to give any more than that. But I think we're trying. In fact, in a lot of instances, we've been ahead of schedule, trying to make sure we're not waiting to the last minute, that we're out in front of the schedule and meeting these time frames well in advance. And I anticipate that that's going to continue as we try to make this happen as on a quickest time frame as we can, working with the MSBA.
Great, thanks. And I understand that fully, and just want to acknowledge all your hard work and keeping your eye on the prize on this one. It's very exciting for our city, and I think it's a lot of hard work ahead, but very much looking forward to this. So thanks so much for your leadership on that.
Thank you, Councilor Welton. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, thank you. Speaking as a member of the committee, a little bit background on the committee. It's very diversified. We have some very qualified and the people that are on this committee have got the full gamut of what we need to proceed to make sure this building is going to be adequate and exemplary for the city. This is just the first big step as far as getting this money before us, and I don't think any of us have any reservations as to what this building is going to take place and what it's going to look like. So I'm very happy to serve with the other councilors on the committee, and look forward to approving this evening, and looking forward to continue the work, and hopefully it'll be a 5-year process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Councilor Peach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think as someone who attended Peabody High, and there are many generations just on this council, and we all attended Peabody High, and I think it was in terrible condition every time a generation has attended that high school. From what I'm told from my father-in-law, it wasn't a great school when it first opened, so it had a lot of issues to begin with. And you know, I went to Peabody High, graduated there. I have my niece and nephew both went to Peabody High, and I am excited. Like Councilor Welton, you just keep having kids. Eventually, one of them will go to a new high school. So, I'm happy, you know, to serve on the committee, the building committee. I plan to have 3 kids attend a new Peabody High School, and my oldest is in 1st grade right now. So I think we're on a great schedule. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership on this. I look forward to the next few years to come as we see what the new Peabody High School looks like. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Peach. Any other councilors? Councilor Melville. This one's working.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I'll hand it right back to you. Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to make a motion for a positive recommendation from the subcommittee for the bond order for the PVMHS feasibility for $8 million. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. On the motion, just administratively, because of the tight timeline, councilors will remember that the motion originally was to draft and advertise, which is why Councilor Melville is making the type of motion he is at this juncture. So anything else on the motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you
Next.
for that support.
Next item on the agenda is transfer of funds, building demolition in an amount of $170,979. I think Mr. Mayor is speaking on this one as well, correct?
Thank you very much. This is a project also I think you have some familiarity with. I came forward to the council at our last capital request. It was around this time last year to get some initial funding for this project. This is the demolition and cleanup of the Berry Street site, the old DPS building on Berry Street, and there's also another large garage in that site as well that we're looking to demolish and clean up. At the time, I believe we got $100,000, $125,000. The project ended up, as they often do, coming back at a higher number because what we ended up running into was some contamination issues at the site, some hot pockets over in that building, those buildings that required a different type of cleanup and removal and a whole different type of process, and some of that material has to be trucked to a outside location. So the cost came in a little bit higher than we wanted and we anticipated, and that's what's brought me here today to seek the additional funding, the $170,000 to move forward with this project, which I think is necessary. It's probably overdue by decades to remove that building and clean up that area. We have the North Shore CDC, who's purchased 40 Endicott Street, and they're looking forward to moving forward with a project that actually is starting to take shape, and cleaning up this area in the back will allow the city to have a number of opportunities, potentially partnering with the North Shore CDC or looking to some other uses in the future that we can have some discussion about. But this is long overdue. It's a property that needs to be cleaned up to make that area and those neighborhoods much nicer in appearance, and I think everybody would want that. So looking forward to bringing that to the next stage here, and looking forward to this vote. We did put this out for bid, so we have a contractor ready to go this year, and in fact, very shortly, once this vote is made, in order to make that happen. So, Mr. Chairman, certainly available to answer any further questions or give further details on this project. Thank you.
Questions from the committee? Questions? Councilor Peach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for bringing this forward. This is, as you stated, this is long overdue. For any councilors who aren't aware of the site, I think most of us are. I'm very excited for this neighborhood that's been put through a lot in the last few years, for the new project that's been approved by the North Shore CDC, which is a reduction in unit size on Endicott Street, changes access to the building, and it is senior housing. So a much better project, much better outcome than we anticipated 5 years ago. And I think with cleaning up this area, it's long overdue. I get calls almost weekly about people illegally dumping back here, and I think once the buildings are gone and there's less to hide all of the things that they're illegally dumping, we'll be in a much better situation, and the neighborhood will be better off for it. So I look forward to supporting this at full council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Peach, and I couldn't agree more. Long overdue. Any other questions from any other councilors? Seeing none, Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilor Melville, do you want to take this, or are you okay? Okay. Having a little fun, Ryan. I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve the transfer of ARPA funds, account number 250059000, 348122021 for the amount of $170,979 to the building demolition, account number 30000005872292025, again in the amount of $170,979. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Councilors, you heard the motion from Councilor Gould on the motion. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Council.
Next item on the agenda, item C2, Benevento Circle Deed in lieu of payment. Mr. Titlebaum.
Hello. So for this property, we're looking for the council to approve for the person who passed away years ago. Their lawyer is trying to clean up the rest of the trust, and they want to give us the deed to this property in lieu of their payment of taxes.
Questions from the committee? Questions from other councilors? Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the treasurer, can you give us values of what the deed is worth and what the tax debt is worth?
Yeah, so property is valued for the city at $6,530. That's an unbuildable lot. Back in 1999, this property was transferred to pretty much to conservation without fully transferring, where they put all these restrictions on it. No buildings can go on it. Nothing can get built on it. It's just to be kept clean and with trees and whatever's there. They haven't paid taxes since this property was built, split out in 1991. As of today, they owe just under $101,000 in back taxes.
So it's valued at $6,000 and they owe $101,000, but they will gift it to us. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
Any other questions? Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, please, to Treasurer Titlebaum. As you come off of Gooddale, that's on the right-hand side? Left-hand side?
So if you're coming...
On to Benevento.
If you're coming onto Benevento, it's going to be on your left side. Right after the fence line, it's a triangle-shaped property that there's nothing you can build on it. It's all trees right now.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions from the committee or other councilors? Hey, Mr. Titlebaum, just for my own clarification on your response to Councilor Daigle's question. So we get the property worth $6,500 roughly, and that settles the $101,000 debt in total, or is that?
Yeah, so they're looking to deed the property over to the city, which we'll use that to wipe off, it'll become city property and wipe off the rest of the debt.
And we're dealing with an estate here, is that we're dealing with an estate at this point?
Yeah, so the trust, it's Good Deal Farms Trust. Everyone in that trust has passed away. So the lawyer's been trying to give it to the city for the last 9 years, but I finally got hold of him, and he said he wants to finish up the process. So we were pretty much in land court, and we did it this way, which will be cheaper, easier for the city, and cleaner.
I see. So there's nowhere else to turn on this. That's
correct.
I see. Okay. Okay, so I think what Mr. Titlebaum is seeking is an approval to accept this deed in lieu of payment from the council. Somebody want to make that motion? So moved.
Motion to follow the recommendation of the city treasurer.
And the recommendation of the city treasurer is
to receive the deed in lieu of payment for 2 Benevento Circle, parcel 011-065.
So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. On the motion, seeing none, roll call.
Councilors Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Any opposed? The vote. We are adjourned.